right? That then the third step is design. That today itself we should want to discuss about what is design, what are the important factors then you want to consider when designing the system. After the designing, then you will start the next step, implementation. Implementation also very important. Many question papers more concentrate on this implementation part. Therefore, we should want to know the important steps in implementation also. Right before starting the implementation part, then we should want to complete the design. Both of these parts I am expecting to do today. Then before that, again, I want to concentrate on some past paper questions. That first we'll see that past paper questions here. Right, then look at the paper, this one. Here, business system 2016. Some of the question we already discussed. Look at the question number 3 here. Question number 3, part 1. They are asking nowadays every organization use an accounting information system. What is meant by accounting information system? Accounting information system, that only the difference that already we know what is information system. Normally we are using information system to convert data into information. There are several kind of information systems we learn based on organization structure. In an organization structure, there are 3 levels: operational, middle level, top level, like that. We learn there are types of information system that relevant with each level. But in here, the name is different. Accounting information system. Again, the accounting information system you are using to convert data into information, but this time information may be accounting information that is specific to accounting information. Therefore, in this case, you can define accounting information as accounting information is an information system that produce accounting information. Or you can say accounting information system is an information system that we are using used to perform all accounting activities. Accounting activities කරන්න තියෙන information system එක තමයි accounting information system එක කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒක ඒ විදිහට define කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් accounting information system is a system that used to convert data into accounting information. සාමාන්‍ය දත්ත accounting information බවට පත් කරන්න භාවිතා කරන system එක තමයි accounting information system කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒ විදිහට we can define accounting information system. And I think you can build up the answer for this question here. No need to giving a separate answer for this question. From your knowledge, I think all of you can write down some kind of answer here. Right. Then look at the second part. Illustrate 4 users of accounting information system. That what are the here 4 users that within brackets say 3. 3 marks here given, therefore only 3 users here you want to mention in this question. Then think about what are the users of accounting information system that according to the functions of the accounting systems, right? Based on the functions in accounting, you can define these users. how we are going to use this information system. That, for example, to produce all kind of accounting statements. Right? Accounting information systems you can use to produce accounting statements. Accounting statements mean what are the main accounting statement? That profit and loss account, balance sheet, cash flow statement, like that. There are many types of accounting statements. You can use these to produce these type of accounting statements. Then what else? What are the other type of users? Can you think about that? Right. Right. Then here discuss about the users of accounting information system. Right. The first one, producing accounting statement. Producing accounting statements. Example, profit and loss account. Right. In that day, you have to give some examples also. Then what else? What else? Then you can use this type of system to maintain fixed asset or maintain assets. Maintain assets. There are different types of assets in an organization. You can use the information systems, accounting information systems to maintain assets. Then what else? Then what are the functions? Then auditing purposes. You can use accounting information systems to perform various kinds of auditing. Then another function, you can use accounting information system in an organization. And in this way, you have to identify what the things you can do with the accounting information system. Right, then we'll see the next part. Typical accounting information system is a combination of 6 elements. What are those 6 elements? Not only accounting information system, all the other information system also have with these elements, 6 elements. Right? Then you want to mention these elements here. That already we discussed about the elements of information system. Based on that elements of information system, you can point out. Then what are the elements of information system? Can you remember that? Then inputs. Then what else? Input, subsystems, these elements you can find in the normal system also. Output, then feedback. Then if you have forgot these things, then you can go to the relevant recording. Then you can get this meaning of this in detail meaning of these elements. Here the question just asking to list out the elements. Then software, and hardware. In addition to that, some other elements also you can point out here, right? Specific rules. And expert people. Expert people to do the various types of operation regarding this account information system. It needs some expert people. That means the person who are expert in accounting, right? To do the work in accounting information system, they need that type of people. That otherwise it will not give in the maximum utility of this accounting information system. Therefore, it needs some expert people also. Right. We can identify 8 different elements. Out of 6, you can mention as an answer for this question. And then look at the next part. These 3 important functions that accounting information system perform in an organization. List 3 important functions that accounting information system perform in an organization. Then functions, question number 2 asks users. Here they are asking functions. දෙකෙන් අහන්නේ භාවිතයන් මොනවද කියලා. 4ෙන් අහන්නේ functions මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන් දේවල්. What are the functions? They can use this information system, can use to store accounting data and information. Right? Accounting data and information can use to store accounting data and information. Right? Functions of accounting information system. First one, store accounting data and information. Accounting data and information. Right? I think you know the meaning of here. Accounting data and information. Once you did some transaction, then it will generate some kind of data based on this transaction. This data you can store here. Then another function, stock control. Stock control. You know, once a customer purchase something from your organization, then what happened to your stock levels? Right? Stock levels are reducing. Then suppliers supply some goods to your organization, then stock level may increase. Like that, you want to maintain the stock level. Right? That, in other words, we can say stock control. This part of accounting system is controlling the stock levels. That therefore we can identify one of the function as a stock control. Right? Then another function, controlling wages. We can say payroll, wages and payroll controlling. Controlling wages and salary. These are some functions you can identify with the accounting information system, right? Based on your subject, there are many kind of functions you can identify. We can do with the accounting information system, right? මේ සඳහන් කරේ කීපයක් විතරයි. ඊට අමතරව විශාල වැඩ කොටසක් කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ accounting information හරහා. Right. The same time you can get some note regarding these answers. Right, then question number 5, list 6 components of catwalk. Catwalk, I think last week we complete that part about this catwalk. Catwalk, it gives separate meaning for each word here. C stand for customer, like that. Then follow the notes we did in last time. Then easily you can get the answer for this question. Only list 6 components of catwalk. No need to describe it. Only just put what is C, what is A in that way. Right? Easily you can get the answer for this question by looking at the last week note. And therefore, I'm not going to write down the answer for this one here. Right? That's about question number 3. Right? Here, easily you can answer this type of questions here. Right? Then look at another one. Question number 4 here. There are some parts we have to do something still we should want to do, especially question part 2 here. Still we are not discussed about pest analysis and SWOT analysis. That most probably next time we can complete that part also. Up for the now, in this moment, forget about this question part 2 here. Look at the part 1. List 4 kind of security threats that can be affected to information system. Security threats. What do you mean by security threat? That it is somewhat similar to what we learned that during your course here, that accidentally we did other syllabus. However, some of the things we can apply for this one also. I think all of you can remember the security, e-commerce security part. Right? The things we are learning under e-commerce security also you can apply for this information system also. In that case, we identified, say, various types of threats. Here also try to apply those type of threats for your information systems. How you are going to threat your information, what are the ways? Right? Information system එක damage වෙන්න පුළුවන්. තර්ජනයකට ලක් වෙන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රම මොනවද? List 4 kind of security threats. Unauthorized access. Right? එකක් තමයි unauthorized access කියන එක. Right? Security threats for information system. Security threats for information system. First one, from unauthorized access. Unauthorized access. There are some people without getting your permission, they are trying to access your system. Then what they are doing after accessing to your system, they are stolen your data, change your data, like that. Many various kind of things, bad things they are doing with your system. Unauthorized access. Then what are the other types of threats? The physical threats also available. Physical threats. Physical threats. Physical threats, especially it may be from fire, example here, fire, or then what else, like natural disasters, floods, like that. These kinds of things we categorize under physical threats, right? Physical threats. Another type of threats that happen to your security, your information system, right? Then computer viruses. Computer viruses also damage your system. There are many different kinds of viruses. These viruses make deliver to your system from various ways, especially when you are with the internet, or if you are using some kind of storage devices. In that way, various kind of viruses may impacted with your system, computer viruses. Then another threats, can someone suggest another threat? තා මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? කෙනෙකුට කියන්න පුළුවන්ද? මේ threats කියනවා අපි ගොඩක් identify කරා අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි වැරදිලා කරපු syllabus එකේදී e-commerce security කියන part එක යටතේ threats වර්ග ගොඩක් identify කරා. අන්න ඒ threats මෙතනට apply කරන්න පුළුවන්. Information system එකක් damage වෙන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රම. දැන් computer malware වගේ දේවල්, phishing වගේ දේවල්, DDoS attack, මේවත් information system එකකට දාන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Therefore, I am write down here some of other threats like computer malware, phishing attack, or DDoS attack. Right? These type of things also happen. Threats your information system because of these kinds of threats may cause to damage your system. Right? Okay, I think you get the idea about threats, the various type of threats that are available with your information system. That's about question number 1 here. Then look at the question number 3. Question number 3. Here, every business is having several threats. To run the business, identify 2 physical threats that can be affected to business. They are asking about physical threats that earlier we mentioned some of the physical threats under kind of security threats. The same answer you can apply here also, but concentrate only the physical threats that earlier I mentioned. What type of things physically damage? It may be from fire or floods, right? Or small animals, right? Your system may damage because of small animals. These kinds of things, all these kinds of things we can categorize as physical threats. Right? Fire, floods, or small animals. Right? These are the some of the physical threats. Right. Then look at the question number 4. Question number 4. Name and briefly explain 2 types of intruders. 2 types of intruders. Here the intruder meaning hacker. Another name for hacker is intruders. I think hacker is, all of you know the meaning of hacker, that earlier we are also did that part also. Hacker we identified. Hacker mean the person who are trying to access your system without getting your permission. Person who trying to access with your system without getting your permission. Right? That particular person is called hacker or intruder. Intruder, another term. Intruder. Intruders are 2 types. We can identify 2 types of intruders. Passive intruders passive intruders, and the second type is active intruders. Active intruders. And then we should want to get the difference between this passive and active. Actually, the passive intruders are not normally harm to your computer, your system. There, the purpose of this passive intruders is only the reading your files without getting your permission. They are also type of hacker. They are trying to access your system, but if they access to your system, but they are not going to damage your files. They are not going to stolen your important valuable information. Only they are, what they are doing is try to read in what is your computer. Passive, therefore, under passive intruders, they can see the purpose of this passive intruders only weaving your confidential your data, only weaving your data. But active intruders, they are the type of hacker, very dangerous, very harmful to your system. What they are doing is after accessing to your system, they are always trying to stolen your confidential data. That's the main difference between passive and active intruders, right? And active intruders, you can say they are always trying to change your data, change or stolen your data. Right, okay, in that way you can identify about the intruders also. Right, here the rest of the question we'll discuss later. Then you want to know about the malicious code and how you are going to protect your computer from the malicious code. Right, we are going to discuss this part in later. That's about some of the question in 2016 paper. Then look at this one also, 2017. Not going to discuss in detail here. The same question is available here also, question number 3. What is an accounting information system? That already we discussed, therefore no need to discuss in detail. Then question number 2, state 2 uses of an accounting information system. Also we discussed that part, 2 uses. Then who are the users of financial accounting? Actually, the answer for this question, I think in your case, you know the better than me, the users of financial accounting. It may be government or sometimes customers. They need to review your financial accounting, your department heads, owners of the organization. In that way, you can identify several parties that prefer your financial accounting information. Question number 3, briefly explain the role of an information system auditor and consultant. Information system auditor is the person who audits your information system. Like other equipment, other things, there should be a way of auditing your information system also. Auditing information system meaning here the function, whatever the functions you are doing through the information system should be audited. The person who doing this auditing function is called system auditor. Right. Consultant is the person who giving instructions, giving consultation to develop your not only information system, other types of activities, either type of financial activities regarding your organization. Here not specifically as information system consultant. Therefore, generally you can say consultant. Consultant is the person who giving valuable consultation, valuable instruction to develop your organization. This consultant may be outside your organization or inside your organization. And I think it is clearly you can define the difference between these two terms. Right. Is it clear up to now, the questions? Is it clear up to now? Can you write down your own answers for this question? I think all of you are clear. Right, then question number 4, still we are not touched that part. Software testing, quality software, black box and white box testing, security controls. Still we should want to discuss these parts. Therefore, after discussing the today's lesson, then you will be able to answer these questions also. Right. Now we can move to our lesson. Here we are going to discuss design part. Design. According to our syllabus here, we finish now these many of the content. Management information system, business system, and system design analysis. Methodologies, already we discussed this part. Then system development life cycle, development methodologies. In your syllabus, the same thing repeating again and again. There are many occasions we can see here. Same thing discussing again and again. Then these things we discussed already. Iterative spiral models, then problem definition, finding problem, informal method, cost benefit analysis, system proposal, feasibility analysis. We already discussed under requirement analysis, discovery method, requirement discovery method we discussed. Then CATO, root definition, conceptual models. Right. Here the part we should want to discuss here, system design. Right. System design. Then should know what are the things you want to design with the system. There are many kind of things available to design the system here. Mainly you want to concentrate this part, hardware design, file and database design, dialogue and interface design, forms and report design. ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් design එකේදී සැලකිය යුතු areas ටික තමයි මේ සඳහන් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. hardware පැත්ත design කරන්න ඕනේ. file and database පැත්ත design කරගන්න ඕනේ. dialogue and interfaces පැත්ත design කරන්න ඕනේ, forms and report. දැන් hardware කියලා කිව්වහම අපේ තොරතුරු පද්ධතියේ භාවිතා කරන hardware, භාවිතා කළ යුතු hardware මොනවද, ඒ වගේ capacities කොහොමද වෙන්න ඕනේ, models මොන වගේ දේවල්ද ඒවා design කරන්න ඕනේ. Here especially consider about the hardware devices, hardware equipment that you are using with your information system. You want to design it. Then what are the output method? What is the input method? Right? Then what type of devices you need to input? Then how you are going to output it? Then what's the memory capacity? What type of memory you need to install with your system? These are the things under hardware. ඊළඟට තියෙන file and database design. ඒතර ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ information system එකට අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා database එකක්. මොකද අපි ඇතුළු කරන දත්ත information system එකට අපි ඇතුළු කරන දත්ත ටික ඔක්කොම ගිහිල්ලා save වෙන්නේ database එකේ. Whatever the data we input to the system, save in the database. It's very large. Suppose your organization having 100 branches island-wide, then think about the customers, the daily customers transact. It may be 10,000, more than 10,000 customers are transact daily. Then how many data they are producing? Think about how many data they are producing. All of this data should store in a database. Therefore, we should want to properly design the database and the files. Then dialogue and interfaces. Dialogues are interfaces කියලා කියන්නේ අපි interact වෙන්නේ කොහොමද? අපි sannivedana communicate කරන. How you are going to communicate with the system? What are the things available to communicate with the system? And then think about the ATM machine in a bank. Then how you are going to withdraw your money through the ATM machine. There is an interface in between you and the ATM machine. Through the interface, you are giving your secret code, then type of bank account, amount you need to withdraw. This type of things you are giving through the interface. Therefore, we can identify interface as a medium between you and the system. Ilantina forms and report. Forms and report. There are various kinds of forms. Normally, forms we are using to input data to the system. දත්ත ඇතුළු කිරීමේ මාධ්‍ය විදියට තමයි forms භාවිතා කරන්නේ. දැන් අපි බැංකුවල වැඩ කරන අය නම් දන්නවා ඇති කස්ටමර් කෙනෙක් ආපුවම account එක open කරන්න computer ඉස්සරහට ගිහලා මොකද කරන්නේ කියලා. එයා screen එකක් open කරගන්නවා. ඒ screen එකේ තියෙනවා නම enter කරන්න තැනක්. අපි කියන එකට form එකක් කියලා. सामान्य मैनुअल फॉर्म දන්නවා කවුරුත්. අන්න ඒ වගේ කම්පියුටරයිස් කරපු ෆෝම් එකක්. ඒ ෆෝම් එක මොන වගේ වෙන්න ඕනේද? අපි ඩිසයින් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඊපස් report design. report කියලා කියන්නේ output එක දෙන format එක. දැන් මැනේජර් කෙනෙක් ඇහුවොත් එහෙම කස්ටමර්ස්ලා කී දෙනෙක් accounts හදාගත්තද අද දවස් තුල කියලා. හරිද? අපි report එකක් විදියට මැනේජර් දෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒක output එක. forms කියන්නේ input එක දෙන ක්‍රමය, report කියන්නේ output එක ලැබෙන ක්‍රමය. right අපි බලමු මේ design ටිකක් අරගෙන වෙනම hardware design කිව්වහම you want to consider this part. input කියන එක design කරගන්න ඕනේ. input කිව්වහම මේ hardware පැත්තේ දත්ත input කරන්න භාවිතා කරන්නේ මොකක්ද? keyboard එක. නැත්නම් touch pad, barcode reader, MICR, voice. ඒ වගේ විවිධ උපකරණ භාවිතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර මොන උපකරණයේද වඩාත්ම යෝග්‍ය වෙන්නේ? What is the suitable device to input your data in your organization? Then you want to design it. Then output. How you are going to give in the output? It may be through the printers or only through the monitor. Or if you are giving output, the voice output, in that case you want to use speakers, right? Then you want to design the suitable type of output devices to your system. Then memory, that earlier I mentioned it depends on the size of your organization. If you are working with the organization that having more than 100 branches, right? Then think about the memory size. According to based on your customers, number of customers, then you want to decide the memory capacity. Then backup systems, how you are going to maintain the backups. Backup meaning you are going to maintain the same set of data in another location, and it may very useful when immediate emergency things happening, right? The backup systems are very important. Then you want to think about how you are going to maintain in the backups. Then tapes, hard disk, these are the Some of the example you have to think when you are designing the memory. Then also another important point, you have to concentrate on network devices. These days, each and every organization, especially large organization, network, they are using network system. Right? Then think about the bank system. Right? If you want to get money through the ATM machine, then that particular ATM machine should be linked with the network system. Right? You are originally you are open your bank account with some branch, suppose in Kurunagala branch, then you want to withdraw the money from Kandy. That it is possible now. Nowadays, it is very not the magic. It's a very possible thing. If you are in Kandy, you can withdraw your money, your account money from Kandy branch. Then how this type of thing happen? Because of network. If you want to establish network system with your organization, then you want to think about the devices that important with network. Network එකක් භාවිතා කරනවා නම් network එක හදන්න අවශ්‍ය උපකරණ ගැන අපිට idea එකක් ඕනේ. network දැන් මේකත් අපි අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා වැරදිලා කරපු syllabus එකේදී මේ network පැත්ත ගැන කතා කරා. ඒ නිසා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හොඳ idea එකක් තියෙනවා. network එකක් establish කරද්දී අවශ්‍ය උපකරණ පිළිබඳව. එහෙනම් ඒ උපකරණ අපි design කරන්න ඕනේ. network points කීයක් ඕනේද, routers කීයක් ඕනේද, hubs මොනවද, ඒ වගේ දේවල් design කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒක තමයි hardware designing කියලා කියන්නේ. Right. Then secondly, you want to design මේ තියෙන hardware designing සම්බන්ධයෙන් මේ උපකරණ output එක දෙන අවස්ථාවක්. මේ තියෙන තවත් input device එකක්, මේකටත් කියනවා barcode reader කියලා. අර නිෂ්පාදනවල තියෙනවා barcode දෙකක්, ඒක ඔස්සේ barcode reader එක අල්ලපුවාම දත්ත ටික screen එකේ වැටෙනවා. barcode reader. මේ තියෙන check පතක් MICR කියන උපකරණය හරහා මේ check පත යවුවාම මෙන්න මේ code එකෙන් කියවෙන දත්ත ටික screen එකේ වැටෙනවා. බැංකුව වල භාවිතා කරන උපකරණයක් magnetic in character reader මේක input device එකක්. මේ තියෙන්නේ අර check එක මේ device එක හරහා යවන අවස්ථාවක්. මේ device එක සමග check එක එකට එකව කරලා පෙන්නලා තියෙන්නේ MICR කියන උපකරණය. මේක server එකක්, network වලදී භාවිතා කරන server පරිගණකයක්. මේ තියෙන network points මේ input hardware designing පැත්ත ගැන තියෙන පින්තූර කීපයක් මම පෙන්නුවේ. router එකක්, right, hubs කියන ඒවා hub, right, ඔය විදිහට hardware පැත්ත design කරන්න ඕනේ. right, ඊළඟට file and database design. File and database design. File and database that earlier I mentioned, based according to your number of customers. This database is changed. The size of database is changed according to number of users. Then identifying categories. Right? When you are designing the databases, then you want to consider about these factors. Number of users, organization එකේ ඉන්නවද කියන එක. Then identify categories. You want to identify categories, employees, customers, like that. Then identify the relationship between categories. Then once you identify the employees and customers, then you want to get the idea about the relationship. What kind of relationship exists between these customers and employees. Then representing relationship through the ER diagram. ER, entity relationship diagram. දැන් මේ පාඩමත් ඔයගලන්ට අමුතු පාඩමක් නෙමෙයි. මම හිතන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට මතක ඇති දෙවෙනි වසරේදී second year එකේදී සම්පූර්ණ පාඩමක් තමයි database කියන්නේ. වෙනමම subject එකක් විදිහට ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරා. එතනදී database අපි හැදුවා, tables design කරා, ER diagram ඇඳලා නේ, relationship ගොඩනග queries කියලා හැදුවේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ, queries හැදුවා, report හැදුවා නේ. ඒ නිසා මේ database කියන එක අලුත් වචනයක් නෙමෙයි. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ දෙවෙනි වසරේදී වෙනම සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් විදියට database එක කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒතර අන්න ඒ database එක design කරන එක එන්නේ මෙතනට. දැන් idea එකක් එන්න ඕනේ. ඒ ඉගෙන ගත්තේ දේ කොතනටද apply කරන්න කියලා. apply වෙන්නේ මෙන්න මෙතනට. system එක develop කරද්දී මේ design කියන තැනට තමයි එන්නේ. File and database design. හොඳයි. ඒතර ඔය ටික එන්න ඕනේ. ඊට පස්සේ තව design යටතේ තියෙනවා dialogue and form report කියන එක. අපි පොඩ්ඩක් බලමු ඒකත්. dialogue and interface design කියන එක ගැන චුට්ටක් බලමු. Here that I already explained what is dialogue and interface meaning. Interface is a place where user and the system interact. How you are going to communicate? Users communicate with the system. First look at some examples for interfaces. Interfaces සඳහා උදාහරණ කීපයක් තමයි මේ දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. සමහර සුපර් මාකට්ස් වල තියෙන interfaces කීපයක් මේ දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. මේවා e-commerce website. ඔයගොල්ලෝ already දන්නවා e-commerce website interfaces ගැන. මේ interfaces වල එක එක buttons තියෙනවා, tabs වගේ දේවල්, links තියෙනවා. මේක අනිත් ටික පෙන්නන්නේ එක එකකින් වැහිලා තියෙන්නේ. මේ තියෙන තව interface එකක්. ඒතර මේ interfaces බලද්දි සැලකිලිමත් වෙන්න interface එකක් design කරද්දි මේ අපි what are the factors you want to consider when designing the interfaces? It should be clear. Clear වෙන්න ඕනේ. Conflicts තියෙන්න බෑ. අපහැදිලි වෙන්න බෑ. දැන් මේ වගේ එකක් දැක්කොත් එහෙම එක buttons තියෙනවා, වර්ණ දක්වලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේ identify කරන්න මේකේ තියෙන මේ features, try to identify the features of these interfaces. මේ තියෙන තව interface එකක්. මේ තියෙන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය computer එක. Windows 8 interface එක මේ තියෙන්නේ. Interfaces once you design the interfaces, then it should be applicable for all type of devices. Another feature you want to consider, once you design an interface, it should be applicable for any kind of device. It should be open with the tablet or laptop or smartphone, right? Whatever the device you are using, that particular interface should be open with your device. Then another kind of interface here. Again, another interface that belong with the e-shop, supermarket. This is the interface that used in the bank. There are some interfaces in Sri Lankan organization. Supermarket, one of the supermarket find in Sri Lanka here. Here also interface of your bank in here in Sri Lanka. Right. In that way, I am showing some of the interfaces. Right. Then look at interface elements. When you are designing the interface, these are the elements you want to insert with your interface. These are the elements. Some of the elements you want to insert with your interface. Interface එකක් හදනකොට ඒකට දාන්න ඕන elements කීපයක් තමයි මේ දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් input controls දාන්න ඕනේ. Navigational components, informational components, containers. ඒ විදිහට interface එකකට දාන elements ටික අපිට වර්ග කරන්න පුළුවන්. We can categorize all the elements that we are using in the interfaces. There are 4 categories here: input controls, navigational components, informational components, and containers, like that. Right. Then we'll see what are the example available for input controls. Input controls. Look at the examples here: buttons, text field, check boxes. Right. I think all of you are familiar with this type of input controls. When you are working, when you are communicate with interfaces, normally you are clicking buttons. If you think about how you are going to communicate with your computer, then start button. That's the example for button. Then text field, check boxes, radio buttons. Here also you can see some pictures. මේ තියෙන buttons කීපයක්. Buttons සඳහා උදාහරණ කීපයක්. Examples, few examples for buttons. Here few examples for text field. Text fields are the field that you are going to input some text. Right? Text field. Check boxes. Actually, if you have to do some selections, the best way of inserting the checkbox, using the checkbox. Checkboxes are allowed to select more than one options. That's the one major difference between checkboxes and the radio buttons. Radio buttons are also type of selection, but radio buttons allow only to select one item at a time. But checkboxes allow to select more than one item at a time. Then look at some pictures of radio buttons. Standard pictures here you can see it's like a circle. Radio button, their appearance is a circle. But if you consider the checkboxes, the appearance is square. Right? Here circle. Radio buttons normally allow to select one item at a time. Then drop down list. Here you can see drop down list here. In the drop down list at the end you can see an arrow that is called drop down arrow. By clicking this down arrow, then you can see all the options. Then you can select one of the option available in the drop down list. Here list box. Then another input control is toggle. Then look at how toggle is look like. Toggle button. The green color one is the on position. Then red color one is off position. Using mouse, you can control this toggle button. If you are click left side, then it will off. If you are click right side, the toggle button will on. This kind of buttons also available with the interfaces. Then date fields also there. Right. Here we are discussing about input controls. Then second type is navigational component. Interface එකට දාන්න පුළුවන් මේ දෙවෙනි ආකාරය තමයි navigational components කියලා කියන්නේ. Navigational components. මේ උදාහරණ කීපයක් දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ breadcrumb, slider, search field. අපි බලමු රූප සටහන් කීපයක්. මේ තියෙන්නේ breadcrumb කියන එකට උදාහරණයක්. මේ තියෙන slider එකක් සඳහා උදාහරණයක්. මේ ස්ලයිඩ් එකේ මැද තියෙන සර්කල් එක මවුස් එකෙන් පුළුවන් අදින්න මයිනස් පැත්තට ඇද්දොත් අඩු වෙනවා ප්ලස් පැත්තට ඇද්දොත් වැඩි වෙනවා ඒ විදිහට ස්ලයිඩර්ස් තියෙනවා මේකත් මේ ස්ලයිඩර් එකක් තව පින්තූරයක් ස්ලයිඩර් එකකට right මේ තියෙන තුන්වෙනි ආකාරයේ informational components information කියන්නේ user ට මොනවා හරි තොරතුරක් පෙන්වන විදිහ. interface එක හරහා අපි මොනවා හරි විමසීමක් කරොත් එහෙම ඒ විමසීමට අදාළව තොරතුරක් පෙන්වන ක්‍රම තමයි informational components කියලා identify කරන්නේ. information දෙන ආකාර කීපයක්ම තියෙනවා. components කීපයක් තියෙනවා tool tip එකක් විදියට දෙනවා. icons පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. progress bar notifications. දැන් මේ තියෙන්නේ tool tip එක. දැන් අපි හිතමු මොකක් හරි field එකක් අපි දැන් enter කරගෙන යනවා. දැන් නම කිව්වහම දැන් මෙතන අපිට එකපාරටම දන්නේ නම කිව්වම මේක product name එකක්ද නැත්නම් customer name එකද enter කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. name නේ just name තියෙන. එහෙනම් එතන mouse එක ටිකක් වෙලා තියන් හිටියාම වැටෙනවා පොඩි information එකක්. write your product name. මෙන්න මේවා තමයි tool tip කියලා කියන්නේ. අපිට අවශ්‍ය තැනට mouse එක අරන් ගිහිල්ලා චුට්ටක් වෙලා තියන් හිටියම තව message එකක් display වෙනවා. ඒක tool tip එකක්. ඊළඟට මේ තියෙන්නේ progress bar කොච්චරක් ඒ වැඩේ ඉවර වෙලා තියෙනවද? නේ අපි මොනවා හරි වැඩක් පරිගණකේ හරහා කරද්දි මෙන්න මේ වගේ progress bar තියෙනවා. ඒකෙන් indicate වෙනවා අපිට අදහසක් එනවා අපිට information එකක් එනවා ඒ වැඩෙන් කොච්චරක් ඉවර වෙලාද? 125 150 ඒ විදිහට ඒ progress එක පෙන්නනවා. ඊළඟට මේ තියෙන notification නේ සාමාන්‍ය පරිගණකයක අපි notification කියන එක ගැන දන්නවා. කම්පියුටරේ දකුණු පැත්තේ යට අර වෙලාව එහෙම තියෙන ඒරියා එක මේ ලොකු කරලා තියෙන මේ පින්තූරයක් පෙන්නලා තියෙනවා. ඒකේ ඒ status පෙන්නනවා notification area එක හරහා වෙලාව කියන්නේ status එක නේ ඉන්ටර්නෙට් තියෙනවද නැද්ද කියන එක බැටරි කන්ඩිෂන් එක මියුට් වෙලාද නැද්ද කියන එක ඒවා තමයි notifications කියලා කියන්නේ message boxes ඔය වගේ හරහා තමයි information දෙන්නේ user ට containers කියනවා මේ accordion කියන එක තමයි container එකක් විදියට දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ වගේ එකක් මෙන්න මේ plus mark එකත් එක්ක category එක plus mark එක click කරපුවාම මේ වගේ තව menu එකක් පෙන්නනවා ඒ menu එක ඉස්සරහින් එක එක items වල ඉස්සරහින් මේ minus කියලා තිබ්බොත් එතනින් ඉවරයි නැවත plus තිබ්බොත් එහෙම sub menu එකකට යනවා මේ වගේ තනුත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා ඇති මේවට කියනවා containers කියලා right ඉතින් ඔය සාකච්ඡා කරේ ඒතර information interface එක තියෙන්න ඕන components ගැන right ඉතින් මොනවද තියෙන්න ඕන components නැවත අපි summarize කරොත් can you remember what type of components that should be available with the interfaces input control it should have input controls then secondly navigational controls then after navigational controls you want informational components, and containers. In that way, you want to identify with the examples what type of things you are using to design the interface. Here, another example for accordion. That's also very common. Here, they are having 2 tabs, school info and 5 programs like that. If you click on 5 program here, your interface is different. You will display another set of data and information. Right. This one is important. Here, explaining factors to consider when designing interface. Interface එකක් design කරද්දී සැලකිය යුතු කරුණු. Factors to consider when designing interface. First one, keep the interface simple. බොහොම සරලව interface එක හදන්න කියනවා. සරලව හදද්දී සැලකිලිමත් වෙන්න භාවිතා කරන භාෂාව language එක avoid unnecessary item. අනවශ්‍ය දේවල් අයින් කරන්න ඒ වගේ දේවල් පිළිබඳව සැලකිලිමත් වෙන්න ඕන. Then second factor to consider, use common user interface elements. Commonly භාවිතා කරන elements පාවිච්චි කරන්න කියලා කියනවා. දැන් button වගේ ඒවා text field වගේ ඒවා තමයි commonly තියෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් ඒවා පාවිච්චි කරන්න. වැඩි කවුරුත් භාවිතා කරන්නේ නැති rarely භාවිතා කරන ඒවා. තමන්ගේ interface එක හදන්න එච්චරම පාවිච්චි කරන්න එපා. When you are designing your interface, use the items or elements that commonly available. For example, buttons, text field, checkboxes. These are the common elements that normally you can find in the interfaces. Then third one, strategically use color and textures. Colors සහ මේ textures භාවිතා කරද්දී ඒවා උපක්‍රමශීලීව භාවිතා කරන්න කියලා තියෙනවා. ගැළපෙන විදියට colors එහෙම match කරන්න, colors type, contrast, brightness, font type, font size වගේ දේවල්. Then make sure that the system communicate what's happening. Information, location, time and error. Make sure that the system communicates what's happening. And when we are communicate with the system should indicate then what happening, that information, location, where you are from, in that particular interface is available, that location, the time of communication, then any type of errors, then any kind of errors. Then think about the default, setting initial values for different user elements. These are the factors that you want to consider when designing the interfaces. This table is somewhat important, therefore you can write down this table here. Then I will give 2 minutes to complete it. Write down that one. හරිද ලියාගත්තද right අපි බලමු ඊට පස්සේ ඩිසයිනින් සම්බන්ධයෙන් ওই ටික තමයි දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ කරුණු ටික. ඒතර අපි සිස්ටම් ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් ලයිෆ් සයිකල් එකේ තියෙන ස්ටේජස් ගැන තමයි කතා කරමින් ඉන්නේ. ඒතර මුලින්ම ප්‍රොබ්ලම් ඩෙෆිනිෂන් ගැන සාකච්ඡා කරා. ඊට පස්සේ ඇනලිසිස් ගැන සාකච්ඡා කරා. ඒකේ තියෙන ඉම්පෝටන්ට් පොයින්ට්ස් ගැන සාකච්ඡා කරා. මේ තුන්වෙනි එක තමයි ඩිසයිනින් කියලා සාකච්ඡා කරේ. right ඊට පස්සේ අපි එනවා ඊළඟට හතරවෙනි එක system implementation කියන එක. right then you can write down the topic system implementation. මේක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් commonly ප්‍රශ්න එන area එකක්. past papers බලපුවාම implementation වලින් ප්‍රශ්න 3-4 වගේ ප්‍රශ්න එනවා මේ area එකේ තියෙන කොටස් වලින්. ඒ නිසා මේක ටිකක් අපි note එකක් දාගෙන යමු. system implement දැන් problem ඉස්සෙල්ලා දැන් පළවෙනි stages තුන problem definition කියන එක ඊළඟට system analysis system design කියන ඒවා මේවා ඔක්කොම තාම මේ designing නැත්තම් පොත්වල තියෙන්නේ. තාම මේ සත්‍ය පද්ධතිය හදන්න පටන් අරගෙන නැහැ. ඔක්කොම තියෙන්නේ design planning තියෙන්නේ තාම. If we consider the about 3 stages, the previous 3 stages only, we are having planning. Still, we have no actual system. Then what is happening under system implementation is they are going to start to produce, to making the actual or real system. Now, the time to creating actual or real system. That is called system implementation. Right? Therefore, most time-consuming step and the most expensive step is the system implementation. And most important one is also system implementation. Therefore, this system implementation part we are learning by dividing another 7 steps. System implementation තමයි මේ steps වලින් දිගම step එක. කාලය ගොඩක් වැය වෙන step එක මේක. වැඩියෙන්ම මුදල් වැය වෙන expensive step එකත් මේක. ඒ නිසා මේක ගොඩක් වැදගත් කරුණු තියෙන හින්දා මේ implementation කියන එක නැවත කොටස් 7ක් යටතේ තමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න. හරි. අපි in detail ඒවා ඉගෙන ගන්න නැහැ. නමුත් කොටස් 7 දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ. right. මෙතන define කරනවා system implementation is the process of defining how the information system should be built. Physical system. Under system implementation, what is happening under system implementation is defining how look like the actual system, physical system or real system. Ensure that information system is operational and used. Then at the end of this system, all the people should ensure that that particular information system is suitable for various kind of operational and other type of usage. Right. You can write down the note here. System implementation is the process of defining how the information system should be built. Right. Write down that one, then I will give time 2 minutes. Right here, I think you finish writing here. Therefore, the system implementation is the most expensive and most time-consuming step here. Therefore, it's divided into and again divided into different stages. Right? Based on these stages, we can discuss in detail what is system implementation. Right now, you can write down these stages here. First one, coding. Under system implementation, the first one, you should know what is coding. Then testing, installation, documentation, training, and support. Right? Not 7 actually, only 6 stages you want to complete under system implementation. Right? Then write down these 6 stages here. මේක තමයි stages 6 system implementation එක යටතේ අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕන steps 6 තමයි මේ දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. system එක හැදෙන්නේ actual system එක අපිට ලැබෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ steps 6 ඉවර වෙනකොට. right. එහෙනම් ඊළඟට බලමු මේකේ පළවෙනි step එක coding කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා. right. coding කියන්නේ මොනවා හරි සිස්ටම් එක ඩිසයින් කරායින් පස්සේ ඒක ඇක්චුවල් සිස්ටම් එකක් බවට පත් වෙන්න නම් අපි ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑමින් ලැන්ග්වේජ් එකක් කරා ඒකට අදාළ කෝඩ්ස් ලියන්න ඕනේ. ඒතර ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑමින් ලැන්ග්වේජ් කියන කතාව තමයි දැන් තමයි මෙතනට තමයි එන්නේ. We need a programming language for coding. Therefore, we should want to select the programming language. We should want to buy it. Then we should want to hire the person who expert with these programming languages. Therefore, all the actual expenses you want to spend this stage. Right. Under coding, here are the point you want to remember. The first one, hiring programmers. Under coding, you should want to hire the programmers. Select person who have programming skills. Then determine the procedures, object-oriented or procedure-based. These are the common programming terms. When we are doing the program, they want to decide that which method. When you are doing the program, there are various types of methods available. The mainly 2 types, object-oriented and procedure-based. Then they want to decide which method they are going to use. It may be object-oriented or procedure-based. Then drawing structure chart. Drawing structure before write down the program codings. They want to module it. They want to logically arrange it, the data. All the data they want to logically arrange. How you are going to logically arrange is using some kind of logical diagrams. That is called drawing structure chart. Here the terms are somewhat technical, therefore remember the points, no need to get in details. Then selecting the language. Then finally they want to select the which language they are going to use. Right. Then write down the content of this table here, write down. එතන මේ තියෙන්නේ සිස්ටම් ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ටේෂන් එක යටතේ පළවෙනි ස්ටේජ් එක කෝඩින් කියන එක. එතන කෝඩින් කියන එක යටතේ සැලකිලිමත් වෙන්න ඕනේ කරුණු. ප්‍රධාන කරුණු තමයි මේ දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. methods දෙකක් මෙතන දක්වලා තියෙනවා object oriented procedure based කියලා. ඔය දෙකෙන් කොයිකද අපිට ගැලපෙන්නේ කියන එක අපි තෝරගන්න ඕනේ. ඊට පස්සේ program එක ලියන්න පටන් ගන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඒ data program එකට අවශ්‍ය දත්ත logically තර්කානුකූලව ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න ඕනේ. මේ දත්ත තර්කානුකූලව ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න භාවිතා කරන charts තියෙනවා. ඒවට කියනවා structure charts කියලා. දැන් උදාහරණ කීපයක් දක්වලා තියෙනවා flow chart modules ඒ වගේ දේවල් හරහා පුළුවන් structure charts අඳින්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි අපි භාවිතා කරන programming language එක තෝරගන්නේ. එතකොට මේ කියන language වලින් ඒක තෝරගන්න පුළුවන්. මේ structure chart එකට උදාහරණයක් මේක දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. මේක ඇඳ ගන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. මතක තියාගන්න structure chart කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ වගේ අඳින chart එකකට. right. ඊළඟට දෙවෙනි step එක. දැන් පළවෙනි එක coding. දෙවෙනි එක අපි හඳුනා ගන්නවා testing කියලා. testing. දැන් code කරයින් පස්සේ අපිට program එකක් ලැබෙනවා. program එක ලැබිලට ඒ coding ලිව්වන් පස්සේ අපිට ඒ program එකක් නැත්නම් system එකක් අපිට ලැබෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි අපි මේ system එක test කරන්නේ. users ලා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දේවල් system එක හරහා ලැබෙනවද නැද්ද කියන එක පරීක්ෂා කරලා බලන්න ඕනේ. Under implementation, the first one coding. Once it complete, then second step is testing. All the user requirements are satisfied with the system. We should want to inspect or we should want to test all the user requirements are available with the system. Then there are various kind of testing there. Through this testing, you can determine the user requirements and other objectives are having with this particular systems. Right. Here, look at this slide here, software testing. Here it defined as the process of evaluation of software and detect difference between given input and expected output. Right. It should detect the differences between the given input and expected output. Then again, another way of defining the testing, software testing is a process that should be done during the development process. During the development process. In other words, software testing is a verification and validation. Right. Some new terms are available here. That later I will explain in the meaning of these terms here. For now, write down these definitions. Under testing, write down these definitions here. right the testing කියන ඔය වගේ එකක් කෝඩින් දීලා ඉවරුනහම ඒක සරල අදහස තමයි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දේ එතනින් ලැබෙනවද නැද්ද කියන එක information system එක කරා users ලගේ requirements හරියටම ලැබෙනවද නැද්ද කියන එක පරීක්ෂා කිරීම. දැන් මේ verification and validation කියලා වචන දෙකක් ආවා මේ testing එක එන වචන දෙකක්. Verification is the process to make sure that the product behaves the way we want it. Designers point of view. මේ නිර්මාණය කරන අයගේ පැත්තෙන් තමයි verification එක බලන්නේ. Process of sure the product behave the way we want. ඒ අවශ්‍යතාවයට අනුව information system එක වැඩ කරනවද කියලා පරීක්ෂා කිරීම තමයි verification. ඒක designers ලගේ පැත්තේ. නිර්මාණය කරන අයගේ පැත්තෙන් තමයි verification testing කරන්නේ. එතන customers ලගේ පැත්තෙන් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ requirements හරියටම ලැබිලා තියෙනවද නැද්ද කියලා බලන පරීක්ෂාව තමයි validation කියන්නේ. Validation is the process to make sure that the product is built as per customer requirements. That particular information system is built based on the customer requirement. There are some testing available to test this type of things. Validation, those are called validation test. The validation test always doing in the point of customer's point of view, but verification testing always doing in the point of design. That's the point you want to remember here, right? Write down these two terms here, verification and validation. Write down it. Right here, I think you finish writing this one, verification and validation. Verification is the process to make sure the product behave the way we want, exactly what we want that particular product is behave. They are giving the output exactly what we want. Here, checking in the point of designers. That we all the verification testing available for designers. Then validation, also customer need to know, the customers also need to know that particular information system giving exact things they expect. Right. Then we'll move to the next slide. Here they are going to compare some differences between this verification versus validation. They look at the first differences, and the verification says it does not involve executing the code. මේ code පරීක්ෂා කරලා කරන ටෙස්ට් එකක් නෙමෙයි. දැන් මුලින් අපි කියවනේ codes ලියනවා කියලා. හරි. ඒ ලියපු code එක පරීක්ෂා කරලා කරන ටෙස්ටින් එකක් නෙමෙයි verification කියන්නේ. Validation කියන්නේ involves executing the code. මේ ලියපු code ටික පරීක්ෂා කරලා සිද්ධ වෙන එකක් තමයි validation කියලා කියන්නේ. Verification comes before validation. Validation it comes after verification. ඒතර අර දෙකේට සම්බන්ධ වෙලා ඒ ප්‍රතිවිරුද්ධ දෙක තමයි දෙපැත්තට එන්න ඕනේ. Third step එක third idea එක තියෙන්නේ it is human based checking of documents and files. Manual testing verification කියන එක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ manual testing එකක් විදියට තමයි තියෙන්නේ. Human based checking. Validation කිව්වම it is computer based execution. Validation කියන එක හැම වෙලේම execution of program. Right, okay, write down this one also, write down. Right, here explaining about verification differences between the verification and validation. Under verification, the first says not involve coding, but validation, if you are doing the validation testing, it involves with codings. Then comes before validation, under validations, it comes after verification. Always verification are human based, manual testings are available under verification, but validation always they are using computer based testings they are using to check the validation of their system. Then verification, under verification says the purpose of the verification, are we building the system right? Api building information system එක හරියට හදනවද කියන. Are we building the system right? හරියට හදලා තියෙනවද? Verification purpose. But the purpose of validation is, are we building the right system? අපි නිවැරදි system එකද හදන්නේ? Verification එක system එක හරියට හදනවද? Are we building the system right? System එක හරියට හදනවද හදලාද තියෙන්නේ කියන එක. Validation යටේ හරි system එකද හදලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒක තමයි purpose එක වෙන්නේ. ඒ විදිහට අපි දැනුවත් වෙන්න ඕනේ මේ දෙකේ වෙනස compare කරන්න මේ ආකාරයට. Right, then we'll move to next slide. type of testing. Here, write down the topic, types of testing. Testing වර්ග හතක් මෙතන සටහන් වෙලා තියෙනවා. Okay, පළවෙනි තුන verifications testing තියෙන්නේ. අන්තිම හතර validation testing. මේ හත ලියා ගන්න. First write down the 7 testing here. First one, inspection, walkthrough, desk check-in, syntax check-in, unit test, integration test, system test. Write down the testing types here. Right, now we'll see one by one. Try to identify what's saying about regarding this testing. The first one, inspection. Again, write down the subtopic, inspection. Right, in this diagram, this animation, first look at the animation here. It says some idea about what is inspection. By looking at the codings, they are manually trying to understand some errors. Codings. Here explaining, doing by system analyst and the team. Make a කරන්නේ කවුද? Inspection කියන එක මේ system analyst, system designers. System එක හදපු අය, නිර්මාණය කරපු අය තමයි inspection කරන්නේ. System designers are the person who responsible with doing inspection, doing by system analyst and the team. Manually examine the code. The second important point under inspection is, it says manually examine. They are not using any kind of machine, computers. Only by looking at the set of codes, they are trying to understand if there is any errors. අර ලියපු කෝඩ් එක දිහා බලාගෙන errors තියෙනවා නම් ඒවා හඳුනා ගන්න තමයි උත්සාහ කරන්නේ. ඒක manually කරන්නේ. කිසිම උපකරණයක් භාවිත නොකර. Third point එකෙන් කියන්නේ identify well known errors. ගොඩක් well known errors. හොඳින් පැහැදිලිව තියෙන ඒවා, හරියටම තියෙයි කියලා හිතන ඒවා වරද්දලා තියෙනවද කියන එක තමයි identify කරන්න උත්සාහ කරන්නේ. Identify well known errors. දැන් example එකකින් syntax errors කියනවා. දැන් programming කරද්දී යම් syntax එකකට අනුව තමයි අපි ලියන්නේ. දැන් programming language කියන්නේ language එකක්. normal දැන් අපි English language කියමුකෝ. දැන් ඒකේ rules තියෙනවා. පටන් ගද්දි capital වාක්‍ය ඉවරුනහම full stop ලියන්න කියනවා. ඒ full stop ඒක මොකද? ඒක syntax එක. ඒ වගේ programming language වල syntax එකක් තියෙනවා. අර manually ලියපු coding එක manually බලලා ඒක identify කරන්න පුළුවන්. That's why I say identify the well known errors. ඊළඟ point එක කියන්නේ the defects found are documented in a login list or issued log. මොනවා හරි error එකක් හම්බ වුණොත් ඒක වෙනම තැනක සටහන් කරනවා. ඒකට කියනවා login list නැත්නම් issue log කියලා කියනවා. Once the defect or error found, what they are doing is maintain this set of errors in a separate location. That is called issue log or login list. Right, that is considered under verification purpose. Use verification purpose. Right, first write down the points හරි. එතකොට මේක inspection කියන එක manually testing එකක් නැත්නම් verification purposes වලට තමයි මේක භාවිතා කරන්නේ. Right, we'll see the next one. First look at the animation here. Right, now look at the description. Walkthrough. Walkthrough. If the testing name is walkthrough, that is also for verification purpose doing manually. Walkthrough in software testing is used to review documents with peers, managers, and fellow team members who are guided by the author of documents to gather feedback and reach consensus. They are collecting together. They are trying to review the documents. That documents is regarding the coding actually. Right? They are review this document by gathering the peers or managers and the team members. peers කියන්නේ ආයතන organization එකේ සම වැඩ කරන අනිත් අය, employees, ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ bossලා, managers and team members. Team members කියන්නේ අර system එක design කරපු අය, designers. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කට්ටියකුත් එක්ක මේ හැමෝම එකතු වෙලා අර system එකට අදාළ documents coding ඇතුළුව ඒ documents ටික review කරනවා. බලනවා, හැමෝම බලනවා. මේක මෙහෙම වෙන්න ඕනේ, මේක මෙහෙම වෙන්න ඕනේ. හරි, මෙතනට මේක ආව නම් හොඳයි. මේක අයින් වුණා නම් හොඳයි. නේ? ඒතර මැනේජර් කෙනෙක් කියනවා මේක මේ ටික ආව නම් හොඳයි. එම්ප්ලොයි කෙනෙක් කියයි ඔකට තව ටිකක් ඇඩ් වෙන්න ඕනේ. නැත්තම් මේ ටික අයින් වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ විදිහට කට්ටියක් එකට එක්කව වෙලා අර සිස්ටම් එක හදන්න භාවිතා කරපු ડોකියුමන්ට්ස් ටික කෝඩින් ඇතුළත් ඒ ડોකියුමන්ට්ස් රිවිව් කරන එක තමයි walk through කියලා කියන්නේ. දැන් අපි බැලුවොත් මේ රූප සටහන ඒ කියන දේ දැන් වඩාත් පැහැදිලි වෙනවා. peers, managers, නේ, එක එක විවිධ පාර්ශවයන්, team members එකට එක්කව එකතු වෙලා කරන කාර්යයක් තමයි walk through inspection, walk through testing කියලා කියන්නේ. හොඳයි. ඒතර මේකත් verification purpose එකට තමයි තියෙන්නේ. right. මේකත් ලියාගන්න walk through කියන එක. Right. That is about walkthrough. That is also under verification. Right. We'll move to the next type of test. First, look at the animation here. That what they are doing, that particular person, all of you can see what they are doing is what he or she is doing here. Can suggest that they are trying to execute the program by looking at the coding manually. By looking at the coding manually, they are that particular person tried to execute it, manually run that particular set of program. Or program එක manually run කරලා බලන්න. මේක computer එකට දාලා execute කරොත් ලැබෙන ප්‍රතිඵලය මොන වගේ වෙයි? What type of result obtained after this program after running in the computer? Actually කරන්නේ නැහැ ඒක. හිතින් කරනවා. හිතින් කරලා බලනවා මේ program එක computer එකෙන් run කරොත් කොයි වගේ ප්‍රතිඵලයක් ලැබෙයි. ඒකට කියනවා desk checking කියලා. Desk checking. Desk checking is the process of manually reviewing the source code. Manually review. තමන් අර ලියපු code එක දිහා බලාගෙන හිතින් run කරලා බලනවා. කොයි වගේ දෙයක් ප්‍රතිඵලයේ විදිහට ලැබෙයි. It involves reading through the functions within the code and manually testing them, often with multiple input values. Developers may desk check their code before releasing a software program to make sure algorithm for functioning efficiency and correctly. Right? එක ලියා ගන්න desk checking කියලා දාන්න. එකත් verification purpose එකට අයිති වෙන එක. Write down it. හොඳයි එහෙනම් desk checking කියන එක ඔය වගේ එකක්. ඒතර තවත් අපිට testing වර්ග කීපයක් තියෙනවා සාකච්ඡා කරන්න. අපි ඊළඟ පන්තියකදී ඉතිරි ටෙස්ටින් ටිකයි තවත් මේ වගේ පන්ති දෙකක් හෝ තුනකින් අපිට ප්‍රධාන කරුණු සියල්ලම ආවරණය කරගන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍රත් සමග. දැනටම සෑහෙන ප්‍රමාණයකට මම හිතන්නේ ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍ර අරගෙන බලන්න උත්තර ලියන්න පුළුවන්. අපි සාකච්ඡා කරා මම පෙන්නුවා ඒ කොටස් කරන්න පුළුවන් කොටස්. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒවා අරගෙන කරන්න. හොඳයි එහෙනම් අපි ඊළඟ සෙනසුරාදා කෙරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඊළඟ සෙනසුරාදා මම හිතන්නේ පොයේ දවසක් වැටෙන්නේ. ඉරිදා මම හිතන්නේ හැමෝටම පුළුවන් ඇති. ඉරිදා උදේ වරුව ගන්න අපිට 8 ඉඳන් 12 විතර වෙනකම් ටයිම් එක බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ ටයිම් එක ඉරිදාට. මොන හරි ගැටලුවක් තියෙනවා නම් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ HOD ට කියන්නේ ටයිම් එක. ඊළඟ පන්ති අපි තියන්නේ ඊළඟ ඉරිදා 8 ඉඳන් 12ට හරි ඒ ටයිම් එක. එතනදී ගොඩක් දේවල් අපි ඉවර කරන්න බලනවා. එතනදී බැරි වුණොත් තමයි තවත් පන්තියකට අපි යන්නේ. හොඳයි. එහෙනම් thank you very much for the participation.